Thoughts on WrestleMania Night 1? The cool thing about WrestleMania Night 1 is that it has so many opportunities to pass the torch. Austin Theory going against John Cena, that's an opportunity for John Cena to take the L and give Austin Theory the big push he needs. Same thing with Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul. You might hate me for the statement, but I think that Seth Rollins could pass the torch to Logan Paul and be a hot new wrestling superstar. Same thing with Trish, Lita, passing the torch to Damage Control. Brock Lesnar passing the torch to Omos. Bianca passing the torch to Asuka, which isn't the biggest torch pass because Bianca has been kind of the newer wrestler than Asuka, but for WWE audiences, it's time for Asuka to get her role. And then lastly, Charlotte Flair passing the torch to Rhea Ripley. So we could see a lot of really cool moments from night 1 that I think could steal the show from night 2. And with that said, let's move over to Austin Theory versus John Cena prediction. I think in this match, John Cena will let Austin Theory defeat him. I don't see it ending any other way. I don't see anything weird happening here. I know people are really excited for John Cena to yet again get that United States Championship, but I think in my heart of hearts that Austin Theory will get the victory. And then up next, Seth freaking Rollins versus Logan Paul. As much as I hate to admit it, I think that this will be the best show on the card. I truly believe that. I truly believe that Logan Paul and Seth Rollins have been working their buttocks off to make this match incredible. And that is why I think Logan Paul's actually going to get the victory. Seth Rollins has had so many WrestleMania moments. Logan Paul hasn't. So this is his opportunity to get that. Now, Trish, Lita, Becky Lynch, Damage Control. This is a match I'm super excited for because it's Lita and Trish Stratus back again. And it's super cool because they're going against Damage Control. Bayley, Dakota Kai, Io Sky, Io Shirai, as I call her sometimes. But the thing about this match that could be really cool is it's an opportunity to really put a focus on women's tag team wrestling. And that's the reason why Mercedes and whatever Naomi's new name is, that's why they left. And this is an opportunity to show them, yeah, we're still investing in women, so maybe you should come back. So Mercedes, Naomi, you got to be watching this match because it could be big for you. Next up, Brock Lesnar versus Omos. I do not see a universe where Brock Lesnar does not take a quick 1, 2, 3 to Omos, and this is a big squash match because everyone believes that Brock Lesnar is going to destroy Omos and that Brock Lesnar is going to win. So I'm going the opposite end. I think this is Omos's big moment. I think that this is his time to shine. And I think Brock Lesnar specifically was like, I do not want to face Bray Wyatt because I want to destroy Omos. But JK, I want Omos to destroy me. And that seems to be the buildup so far, is that we're going to get this. We're going to get a squash where Brock Lesnar finally gets destroyed. And Bianca Belair versus Asuka. I don't care for this match, except it's going to be a banger. They haven't done a build-up for it, and I think that's on purpose. I think that they're doing that so that people will forget about this match, and then when it happens, it's going to steal the show. And I know I probably said before, we're going to have a lot of matches that steal the show, but these two performers are incredible. And this is a show where Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley are the ones that people are going to be most excited for the women's matches, but I think that this one's going to be the best. And who's going to end up the winner if it's not Asuka? I am deleting all of my social media accounts and selling my WWE toy collection to Walmart and repackaging all those figures. So that leaves me with Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley. This is a match that could steal the show, even though I said that for every single match. And that's how you know it's going to be a good WrestleMania. But this one, if Charlotte Flair wins, I will not be happy. We need this Rhea win. We need some little Rey Mysterio build up with Dominic. We need a proposal or something. I want to see like the end of John Cena and The Miz with Nikki Bella and stuff like that. I want a proposal to I want something big if Rhea loses and doesn't get the championship. I want the storyline development. I want that WrestleMania moment for Rhea. And that leads us into night 2 and the matches that the night is to be charged decided, whatever. Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. This is a match that people aren't excited for because it's two WWE people that have wrestled before. They've wrestled like 5, 10, 15 years ago, whatever it is. So we're kind of over this. We're kind of over these people that leave WWE, then come back. So this one's going to be a sleeper. It might even open the night. So I think in my mind that the winner of this match is going to be Roman Reigns, because Cody Rhodes, he can't just step away, start a company and like wrestle for 2 years, building up your craft, and then come back and think you're going to become the champion. That's not how it works. You got to build for it. You got to like tore your pec at least 4 times. So Roman Reigns going to get the big victory and will lose on the next night for Raw, but to who, we'll find out. Gunther versus Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre. If Gunther doesn't win, I will cry in front of many people because I will be watching this on my phone in a nice little festive Maine lobster restaurant in the heart of Boston, because that is the big date night. So Gunther, you need to win this. I need to be excited, but this is going to be a banger. Edge versus the Demon in a Hell in the Cell. How could this not steal the show, whatever night it's going? This is going to be a banger. The Demon's coming back, and with this, the Demon has to win. I think Edge knows. I think everyone knows. If you bring the Demon back, we got to give some more power to that Demon. So Edge, take the L for us. We need this one. Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Natty Shotzi, Ronda Rousey, Shayna, Chelsea Green, Sonya Deville. This has the potential to be an absolute mess, considering that Ronda Rousey's injured, and there's just a lot of people in this match. I'm not the most excited for this one, but what I am excited for is Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville to get some moments, because they are a good team together, and I like good teams together. Which leads us to the men version of that. Braun Strowman Ricochet versus Street Profits and Alpha Academy and Viking Raiders. Again, this one could be absolutely messy. As far as I know, no one is injured in this, but the thing is, what's the point? Why are these people in it? Where are the Usos? What is going on here? Why? So we'll have to see what happens there. And it's a showcase, but like, who are you showing? Like, what's the point of this? It's just like a bunch of teams put together. I'm not interested. But what I am interested in is the Usos versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. This is the big build-up match that we've been building up to since Sami Zayn got his big face. And so did Kevin Owens, because Kevin Owens gave Sami Zayn a t-shirt, which is very exciting. I'm a fan of shirts, so the Usos better take the L. They better let Kevin and Sami win so that Sami can then go on and take on Roman Reigns at Raw after WrestleMania and beat him and become the new WWE World Wrestling Champion, and then leave for AEW when his contract expires, the Smackdown after WrestleMania. And then the final match on this card is the Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio. Father versus son. This is a very sad match. It is never good to see a family break apart. It is never good to see a father have to spank his son on the stage of the grandest of all time. But am I down to watch Rey Mysterio reduce his son to a crying piece of poodoo as he boom, boom, boom on the buttocks of that bastard? Of course I am. Dom is a bad, bad boy, and it's time for him to get his comeuppance. So yeah, bye-bye, Dom. You've been bad. And Days, how you doing?
Wow, how do I follow that? Amazing. Tommy, shout out to you. Tommy, starting off this week's episode by running through his WrestleMania predictions. And of course, these were the predictions that we were meant to get last week, but one of us decided that they were going to have a bit of a lie-in. They were going to miss the episodes. And as a result, it all got thrown into complete chaos. So, big shout out to the Boston boy himself, Tommy Toy Travels, for starting this episode with his thoughts. So, Tommy, how are you, mate? You all right?
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Let me get a sip of water after that. I speed ran that. I was like, we got so much to talk about. Let me.
I mean, you did. I did actually say to Tommy, I was like, listen, if you want the full hour, that's like
Hell
absolutely
no.
fine.
There's so much to talk about.
As soon as you started, you were going so fast. I was like, he'll have this done in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because like I think shorts. I'm like I've been doing shorts for the WW basic figures, so I'm skilled now at talking really fast and hitting all those points I want to hit. So
you do know that shorts can be a minute long, not 10 seconds, though, yeah?
yeah, but like, why am I going to talk about Edge versus the Demon for 60 seconds? I don't watch Raw. I don't watch SmackDown. So
Fair play. Fair play. Hey, did you see that Becca referred to herself as the Boston Girl? I know. That's amazing,
huge.
isn't it? I retweeted it.
Yeah.
I think
now this makes sense.
I think it confirms that she watches this podcast.
Oh, of course.
How are things going over at the Tommy Toy Travels YouTube channel? Because I believe it's burst back into life in recent weeks.
Yeah. Let me go to analytics. I can tell you. All right. So my latest video, JC Jane, from NXT. Do you know her?
Not personally, but yes.
Okay, that's a dope figure. I'm not gonna lie. They did a really good job with that.
Okay.
She's a good wrestler. 94.7% of viewers like that video I posted.
Oh, I thought you was going to say that you gave it a 97% score. And I was like,
I gave it 10 out of 10.
Oh, you could probably get more adventurous with your scoring.
I could, probably.
When you said like 97%, I was like, how have you? I was really interested then. I was like, how have you come to that conclusion? Like, articulation gets, likeness gets, you know, and maybe it's something along those lines.
But I don't know what she actually looks like.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's hard. That's going to be hard to score then unless you do that work. There was one video of yours, because I've watched some of them, but haven't watched all of them yet. There's one that I really want to get to, and it's kind of weird because I genuinely wanted to watch this video, and now I'm sat here and I'm able to actually like talk to you about it. So that's kind of cool. The Owen Hart one. I wanted to talk to you about that because it comes with a belt. I believe that belt is from Stampede when he was in Stampede Wrestling.
It's like they took the Stampede belt and made it look awful.
Oh, okay. So what?
Like if you Google the Stampede Wrestling belt, it's like the thing is I'm not the biggest fan of Jazzwares, what they're doing with AEW figures. Speaking, totally off the grid, off the chart, off the record. But you can totally post this part. And I find when I review those compared to when I'm reviewing WWE, it's just a drag, man. It's just a drag reviewing those figures because they're not as good. They're not as fun to talk about, not as fun to review. Which again, that's always good to have figures like that because there's room for improvement where I get like a WWE figure and it's like, oh my gosh, they've peaked. This is the best WWE figures have ever been. So yeah, if you get the Stampede Wrestling Championship, a picture of it up and compare it to what I got on that figure, it's like if Mattel took wrestling belts and just didn't do any decals on them or anything, and they're just like boring plates made in plastic that have nothing on them.
Wasn't that the problem with their belts before? I seem to remember when they were doing old WWE figures, the belts were not as detailed. Got a feeling that was the case back then as well.
Let me see Series 2.
For what? For AEW or WWE?
For WWE, so I wasn't collecting then.
Yeah, because they did some great stuff. I mean, the Andy Kaufman going into the Hall of Fame. So excited.
You want that fig?
Oh my God, I so want that fig. I've got another question for you because you jumped into one of the live streams I was doing I think you asked me the question of how do you feel about Andy Kaufman going in?
Yeah.
I wanted to know what you thought I was going to say.
I think you were already talking about it, and that's why.
Oh, okay. Because quite famously, I really don't like celebrities in wrestling.
But this is different.
Yeah, I know, but he was so good. He got it. He totally got it. He was like, he was scared of the wrestlers, and he was like going after women and getting women out of the crowd. I mean, could you imagine if someone came out on Raw, a celebrity, say Logan Paul came out, was scared of the wrestlers, right? But instead started calling out the women in the crowd, saying that he would beat any woman in the crowd and actually get a woman out of the crowd and start like wrestling her properly, for real, in the ring, and like pin her down 1, 2, 3, and then like celebrate like he's just won the world championship. Like it's just so not what we see. It's that could not be further away from Bad Bunny giving like a Canadian destroyer to the Miz or whoever, Morrison or whoever. Like it's just could not be further away. For my money, I mean, he should have been in the Hall of Fame so long ago. And I had so much fun going back and rewatching Man on the Moon. Love that film.
Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
REM.
So good. And then I got really stuck into a load of clips on YouTube and started watching like loads of clips on there. There's one that's in the film, right? It's brilliant. He plays Carnegie Hall, Andy Kaufman. So he's on stage at Carnegie Hall, and behind him, there's he puts a video up of this old commercial, and it's all these young girls, and they've got some hobby horses, some like horses on a stick, and they're dressed as cowgirls, and they're just galloping around, and it's an advert for something, I don't know. And he's like, we've actually got one of those girls here tonight. Now, this was in the like 79, 80. That commercial was like 1930 something. So obviously, this old woman comes out, right? And everyone's like applauding as she's coming onto the stage. And he has a little chat with her, and he's like, look, it would be so great. It would be so special if you could just recreate that moment from the advert for us. And so he gives her a horse on a stick, right? And they play the music. He gets the band to play the music from the commercial. So they start doing it, and she's galloping around the stage, this old woman, like pretending to be a kid. All of a sudden, he goes over to the band and he's like, faster, faster. And he gets them to go quicker. And like, she's like, so you've got this old woman on stage galloping around as quick as she can. And he's going quicker, quicker. And the orchestra's going like this, and she's going like this. And eventually she collapses, right, on stage. Yeah. And so like these people come on stage to check on her, and she's lying there, and all the crowds are like really obviously concerned because they're checking on her, and like, you know, they're like, is there a doctor? Is there a doctor? And call out to the crowd, and like someone comes rushing out of the audience, and obviously the music stops, and the lights come up, and all this kind of stuff. And they actually do put the jacket over her face. I mean, this goes on for like a good few minutes as they're trying to do the chest compressions and bring her back to life. And then Andy comes out dressed as like some kind of witch doctor, and he's like, la 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 la, like this. And all of a sudden, she starts to sit up and come back, and like the crowd start roaring. I mean, like, what a journey, man! What a journey you've got. Yeah. I mean, just the visuals of seeing this old woman prancing around on stage, but it makes sense because it's from a commercial from the 1930s. You've got, think about you got the crowd laughing, you got the crowd concerned, you got the crowd horrified, you got the crowd rejoicing at the fact she's come back to life. In the space of, I don't know how long it was, 10 minutes, that whole segment, something along those lines. He has took them through just an incredible experience, an incredible journey. I mean, obviously in this day and age, and I'm sure even back then, everyone wasn't buying the fact she had died. There was probably a lot of people going, she's not dead, whatever. But there was enough in the crowd where you could hear gasps and you could hear concern and you could hear mutterings. And so it definitely landed and did what it needed to do. And just a genius. I mean, he never claimed to be a comedian. He just always wanted to get a reaction out of people. And that, I think, that little story, I think, just really shows his genius and the journey that he was able to take a whole audience of people on. Just incredible.
I'm excited.
Was he someone that you ever like experienced or saw much or was aware of? Like, did you watch Taxi much as you was growing up?
No, I was not born. Unfortunately, I probably only knew him because of Man on the Moon, because of REM, because of Eddie Vedder singing Man on the Moon at that event. But Andy Kaufman's a funny guy. And if the Hall of Fame, what I love about the Hall of Fame is that it gives people an opportunity to go back and look at legends and look at their career and kind of be like, oh, wow, they really did have some great moments. And if this allows people to get into Andy Kaufman, that's great. Because like when Arnold went in, it's like, everyone knows Arnold. What's the point? You know, it's not like people are going to go back and be like, damn, that Terminator 2 is a banger. I'm glad WWE put him in the Hall of Fame. Now I know that movie. It's like, no. We don't. Like, I get why he's in there because he bodybuild and all that jazz. But like, Andy Kaufman makes more sense when it comes to wrestling. And yeah, I think it's a real important and fun addition to the Hall of Fame.
How did you feel about Stacy Keibler going in?
I don't know Stacy Keibler. Has she had bangers? Is she a banger of a wrestler?
No, I mean, she was around during the Attitude Era and she was very bra and panties. I did make the point. I mean, for me, I don't think she should go in, but it's difficult to say that because I'm equally not against her going in because I think that it is right that women get represented, and at that time, you know, it's not her fault that she wasn't being allowed to learn how to wrestle and compete. And you know, if NXT was around, she would have gone through that system. She could have gone on to have had a great career. Who knows? She was a fan of wrestling. I mean, there's a picture doing the rounds of her in the stands with a fan sign as a youngster. And so, like she said, the reason she got into the business was because she was a fan of it. So, you know, you look at someone like Liv Morgan, who was a fan of it. You look at like Sasha, you look at Bayley, they were fans of it. But they've just been fortunate enough to kind of grow up in this era where you can go to NXT, you can be trained, there's opportunities for women, and they can have the careers that they've had. Now, when she was in the business, those opportunities didn't exist. So she had to do the bra and panty stuff. If she wanted to be a part of this and wanted to be in the business and give whatever she could give to the business, she had to do the things that she had to do. And so I certainly don't blame her for those things. That's, you know, what the business was requesting at the time. And I made the point on the watch along of like, honestly, it was a different time. I know it wasn't that long ago, but I think it's hard to know how many people tuned in to see the scantily clad women, if we're going to be honest. You know, there was probably a fair few guys, a lot of colleges, universities, you know, young red-blooded males that tuned in to see some of the women in the bra and panty matches and all that kind of stuff. So I think she probably did have an effect on the business. And she was, you know, I liked her with the Dudley Boys. She did some managing stuff. She'd been in WCW. She's spent a bit of time in WWE, of course. But I think it's difficult to kind of pinpoint some real big moments that you can go, this is why she's going in the Hall of Fame. Do you know what I mean? It feels like she's going in the Hall of Fame because we need a woman. We need someone that's achieved, you know, she was on screen a fair bit. It's not like she's just a woman and we just need any woman. She certainly was getting screen time. And yeah, I don't begrudge it her. I just, it's difficult, isn't it? I think we've all got our own kind of levels as to where do you draw the line for the Hall of Fame? And like, I don't know. It's a tricky one. I don't think I would put her in, but as I said, I have no problem with her going in. So I just wondered what your kind of take on that was.
My take this. So it's the WWE Hall of Fame. It's not the Cauliflower Alley Club Hall of Fame. It's not the Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame. It's not the Luthez Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame. It's the WWE Hall of Fame. And I think it's totally fine for Stacy Keibler to be in that Hall of Fame. I think it's fine for her to be in a WCW Hall of Fame because, yeah, she's an icon. And WWE, what does the E stand for? What did the F stand for?
Federation.
That is true.
Yeah.
And what does that even mean?
I like your point of what does the E stand for. I mean, you nailed it, didn't you? Really? Yeah. Just did that. What does that? Even though like she maybe wasn't around too much when it was E, although she was in it when it had changed. Yeah, you're absolutely right. The E stands for entertainment, and she was part of that entertainment. So yeah.
And she got crossover appeal. You know, she was on Dancing with the Stars. She did really great there. She was on a couple episodes of How I Met Your Mother. Did a great job there. So yeah, I think that like hot second, I could totally see people on Twitter be like, "Oh, she sucks at wrestling. Oh, she's never had a 5-star match." But again, this is the WWE Hall of Fame.
I actually don't know if there's been too much of that. I can't say I've seen some, but I can't say I've seen much. I think people have been more distracted with CM Punk and what's been going on there.
Drama.
And
I'm so glad that we took a virgin pact to never watch AEW again.
Yeah, did you see the Kenny versus
I actually did, yeah.
Vikingo match?
Yeah.
What was your take on that?
It was crazy. That was a crazy match.
5 stars?
That's tough. I think it was really good. A lot of good moments. I wish it was on like a pay-per-view so it had more time to breathe. I feel bad not giving it 5 stars because they both wrestled perfectly. They both did stuff. I just feel like it was missing an element of storytelling that more time would have given them. And then like with wrestling, it's not outside of a vacuum. So also commentary plays a part in it, and the fact that it was on TV and, you know, watching the UK version of it and getting we'll watch it in picture and then having like they don't care about commentary because no one's hearing them other than the UK crowd, and it just like kind of brought down the match for me. I wasn't so into it until they came, and we're back from picture in picture.
Did you watching it on Fight?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I mean, that is a comment I have made so many times that, to be honest, I don't even make it anymore. That it kills the match.
It absolutely does, yeah.
Kills the match. And thoughts on Bray, Bobby, LA Knight?
We'll get to that. To that. But I feel like it would be unfair to our community if I didn't open a box and talk about Love Doug and Sloane Jacobs, Notorious Mimi. So this is a new package. This is actually a UK import. I don't know what this is. I pre-ordered it and I got an email saying like this shipped, and I was like, what the hell is this? What type of junk did I buy? I got George Romero's Martin. You know what this is? Ever heard of it?
No, I haven't.
There's like a book in there, and hopefully it's porn. Okay, so Love Doug. Remember when like I was doing all those covering conventions and all that jazz, and it totally killed my YouTube channel, even though the content was like kind of fun. So I stopped doing that. I was like, I'm back to wrestling, baby. Here we go. So I didn't apply to PAX East this year for a press pass or anything. I got wrestling tickets, and lo and behold, what does PAX East do this year? They got live wrestling on the floor 3 times a day, featuring Love Doug, featuring JT Dunn, Rich Palladino, Paris Van Dale. It's like all my faves from Thursday night in person for free. LMK was there. LMK wrestled at a GamerCon, and I wasn't there. I missed out. My friend texted me though, and he said it sucked because the ropes were fake.
What do you mean
you can look up footage of it. It's all over PAX. Like, that was the thing that everyone was talking about this PAX East. So I don't know. Apparently the game sucked because if everyone was talking about the wrestling, so Xavier Woods was there too, and Jeff Jarrett. They didn't wrestle, but they were there at the show. Yeah.
I'm still confused by the ropes were fake.
It was like
were they made out of dreams?
No. Like, you know how ropes are, they should support weight.
Were they like not tightened?
They were like inflatable or something. Yeah, it was like they put the ring. They got the ring.
Yeah.
Bottom's good. They put ring posts that are kind of dodgy. And then they had 4 ropes, but they're not really ropes. They're like inflatable stuff. So like the wrestlers couldn't do any running back and forth, touching the ropes because they just fall out. And they couldn't like do any big jump things off the rope because they can't do it. And there were moments like when one wrestler would go to the corner, the other one would do like the one, let's count to 10 as I punch them, and they try and go up on the second rope, and you can just see them just like slowly go down because it won't support their weight. And
I mean, I'm only just thinking about this now. How did WWE never replace the ropes with garden hose, run water through it, put some holes in it, and have the water kind of spraying in when they were doing like wet t-shirts and bra and panties and all that kind of stuff? Could you imagine like it like squirting up into the air, coming down from
your mind goes?
No.
Exquisite days. Like, I'm talking about Love Doug wrestling, and you're just like, okay, but T, think of this.
Yeah.
Wet t-shirt contest where the ropes are replaced with garden hoses.
Yeah. That was down to you. That was because you said the ropes were fake, and I was like, well, what else could they be?
Yeah.
And then
they were super fake.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So Mimi, is Apple TV a thing in the UK?
Yeah.
Have you heard about the show Monster Factory?
No.
All right, I know you love documentaries.
Yeah.
But I know that you want to. There are 3 constants in your life. You don't care about Love Doug. You don't understand him. You don't care about Notorious Mimi. You don't care about anything having to do with geek, sci-fi, nerd stuff. Superhero, sorry.
Yeah, superhero. I can listen to a Batman conversation.
Okay.
Anything else, you've lost me. Yeah.
Okay. Minus Batman.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, 2 is going to be changed because this is a documentary about a wrestling school. Oh. It follows the students. It follows what they do in their lives. It follows the backstories. It shows how they train.
Oh.
And it's Notorious Mimi's school, and the documentary starts before she got signed to NXT, so you get to see that whole process and get to really follow her. And it's a really well done documentary, and it's really cool to see these students and their backstories and everything they do to train and wrestlers.
Who's the Notorious Mimi? I don't even know who she is. I don't know who this woman is. She's at NXT.
Well, she was Sloane Jacobs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Sloane Jacobs appeared like a handful of times.
Yeah.
And she's
Hang on. So what you're telling me is you care about Sloane Jacobs, but not Notorious Mimi, because you thought Notorious Mimi was someone else?
No, I don't care about either.
Okay. But what if you watch the show?
That could change. Do you know who
you'll have to delete every episode.
Do you know who I'm really starting to stan?
Becca?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
I am.
Great.
She's been on Raw twice. Once in a backstage segment, maybe more, but 2 that I've noticed. Once in a backstage segment, once actually in the ring competing against Lacey Evans, I think it was.
Yeah.
And I've seen like her putting pictures out of her, like, competing at different shows. Obviously, we've been talking about her for a while. Yeah, she's grown on me. I mean, in all fairness, there's a potential gap in the market for us to stan because obviously LMK massively let us down. I will never know what went on there, but it's definitely William Hensey.
Yeah, it's definitely William Hensey, but other than that, we won't ever know.
Okay, so where's this documentary coming out then?
It's out already. Apple TV. You can watch it. You can end this episode. You can tell everyone, hey guys, I'm sick. Can't watch AEW. And you'll honestly have a better experience watching that documentary.
Okay. Have you watched it?
I've watched the first 2 episodes. Then I talked to E's sister on the phone. We talked about E.
What's E's sister called?
That's need to know basis.
H.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is she older or younger?
I think older.
Okay. Wiser.
Well, we talked about comic conventions.
Stupid.
No, we talked about E. And yet again, I forgot to ask, why did E go to Europe?
Jeez.
It was just a quick call. We both have birthdays in March.
Okay.
Yeah.
You do. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Was it many days ago or?
It was last week when you
when I stood you up.
When you stood me up. Yeah.
On your birthday.
Yeah. Yep. I was like, oh, I'm gonna do a birthday stream. This is gonna be so fun. Oh, this is gonna be great. And then no days.
That makes it better.
Yeah.
But I am sorry for standing you up.
You're sorry for standing me up because we didn't get that content out fast enough to get that WrestleMania YouTube rev.
And hey, I do have to say a massive thank you though, and I do mean this. A big thank you to everyone that joined us for that live stream, and it was really good. Fun. It was fun. I mean, I could see people talking and sharing their thoughts, and obviously you engaging with them in the chat and everything at the time. Just looked like things were kind of popping off in there. That looked good. Obviously, the response has been really good. The little shorts that we've done as well seems to have picked up some attention as well. So, don't know. I mean, I know it's WrestleMania season. I know there's a buzz around, but it's nice, isn't it, once in a while because we don't really have any expectations for these episodes or anything. We just put them out, have a laugh, and move on with our lives. But it is nice, isn't it, once in a while to just have get a bit of a dub like that.
Yeah,
that was nice.
Yeah,
I feel like we got some dubs.
Super looking forward to what's after WrestleMania season, like the 10 dates.
Here we go.
Live streams again.
Yeah.
And, maybe getting Love Doug or Notorious Mimi on this podcast.
Maybe. I mean, we could totally have guests, but you've got to host it.
And it can't be Love Doug or Mimi.
Why? Because I don't like him.
How would you let's say this, we get them on. I know William's really pushing us to get Love Doug, and we get him on here and he looks up our past videos and it's just 50 episodes of you just being like, you know what? I don't get Love Doug. I'm sorry. I don't think I ever will. I miss LMK. So what will you talk about the whole time? How will you?
I'll ask him about LMK. I'll be like, do you know Becca?
Yeah.
And he'll be like, yeah, I know Becca. I'll be like, she's cool, isn't she? And he'll be like, yeah. And I'll be like, do you know LMK? He'll be like, yeah, I almost got married to Erica. I'm like, oh, man, that's cool. She's cool.
And then you'll be like, oh, have you seen that Monster Factory show?
Yeah.
Good, isn't it?
Have you ever been to England and seen a woman play an instrument with her feet? Have you ever played 10 Dates? Because me and Triple T are about to do it. And then I'll be like, I'm done. You take over.
Yeah.
No, it'll be good to be inspired. Listen, I'll talk to anyone. I'm quite happy to have someone on. But as I said,
I want to get E on.
Man, I love that episode.
Yeah,
I love that episode.
What if we get E's friend?
Oh, be good.
Should I ask E if she has any friends that want to come on the call?
Can you ask E if she's got any friends and just leave it at that?
You have any friends?
Have you got any friends? We was just chatting about you on the pods, And we agreed we don't actually want you back on. We wondered if you've got any friends that we could ask.
Yeah. So I just sent that message.
Nice.
So
Good.
hopefully that'll work out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, put a bow on that conversation. I am down to have a guest, but as I said, you would have to host it because my internet is garbage.
Oh, of course.
In regards to 10 dates, that is the video game that we're going to be playing, which I'm very much looking forward to. We need to get that done as well, don't we?
Yeah, because that guy will get mad at me.
Yeah,
probably.
so, okay, we need to get that sorted. That's going to be very soon after WrestleMania. The Community's Got Talent thing.
Yep.
Need to go do that as well. That's going to be 2 to 3 episodes. Probably 2 if we think about, well, we'll probably mention it in an episode about get your submissions in. Then we'll do the submission episodes. And then, of course, we got to do the winner episode, haven't we? So
what I'm thinking, hear me out.
Hearing you.
First week of April will be WrestleMania review. Has to be. Second week, maybe 10 dates live stream, and we'll probably be live again. I just need to set up my processor, and we can do that. And then maybe submissions, and then the last week will be the talent show.
Okay. So the April is looking pretty stacked.
April's going to be packed. I'm going to try and get some special guests. Maybe I'll install YouTube on my phone, upload some shorts so we can keep getting those views, that revenue.
Well, I mean, I would love for us to keep recording the Instagram things if we can find a way of doing those. And in April, I'm going to look to start putting them out. But I must admit, I'm really thinking about putting them out as shorts. Because what I tend to find is that we get a really good picture that we have a great laugh with, and then we have to sit through several that are just garbage.
They're just garbage.
And we try to make fun with them, and we do. I mean, I think the whole episode should still go up because I think the whole thing is still enjoyable. But I think it feels to me like the episode's fun, but there are a few bits of real gold in there that are really funny. That should go out as shorts as well. So yeah, I mean, look, there's so much that we're looking to do to the channel and kind of push things forward. And obviously, if we're talking about bringing guests on and we're talking about community submissions, we're talking about shorts and extra content. I mean, it's an exciting time, isn't it? It's an exciting time. Yeah.
I'm glad that I'm learning how to YouTube again.
Yeah, well, it's great that you're putting content out again. And honestly, I would urge that people go over, check out those videos, put in their thoughts in the comments, maybe make suggestions. Tommy can, see what people are saying. And
I've seen some people. I've seen some regulars on the pod. Just want to, if I can just shout them out real quickly. William Hensey. Do you know that man?
I there is a restraining order, yes.
Justin Archer. Do you know that man?
Yeah, legend.
Absolute legend. Nick Storm.
Yeah.
And there was someone else, but I forget. I think it was like Austin something. I don't.
How many videos do you put out a week?
Not too many.
What if we shout people out that leave comments on your videos on this podcast? It's good, isn't it?
That's so good, bad. Yeah.
That's good. Leave a comment on Tommy's video for whatever he puts out, like over between now and next week. And we'll go through the comments and shout them out. Do you know what? We could read the comments.
You got a hashtag WEP. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. If you want to get a shout out, put hashtag WEP and we'll target those and then shout those out.
You're catching this at a perfect time. I just got 7 comments from someone saying, Sasha Banks hacked my phone. She hacked me 4 times today. She left. I reported to the police and T-Mobile. They have her number. Sasha Banks hacked me. And these are 7 comments. Like each one a minute. So if someone sent one and then they were like, Actually, let me go back. Let me say T-Mobile. They hacked my T-Mobile.
We're going to have to go because I'm going to need to do a video on that. That is so big. That is so big. I mean, she's not getting that WWE money anymore. So is she now having to hack into people's phones to get there?
Today, yeah.
She did it 4 separate times.
That's what he said.
No way, man. No way.
Yeah.
The problem is, I don't know that you'll ever get any comments as fun as that. That's the only problem. We might have maxed out before we've even started asking people.
This guy's an absolute legend.
I've got great faith in Grant Jameson, though. If he goes and puts a comment on your thing, then it'll be legendary, right?
Hashtag WEP, yeah.
Hashtag WEP. Right, we're done. Any final thoughts?
No, we talked. I had thoughts about everything, so we're good.
Okay, nice. Are you watching WrestleMania?
No.
Where will you not be watching it?
I'm going to be eating, as I said, I'm going to be at a restaurant eating lobster.
For 2 days?
Oh, I forgot it's 2 days now. Yeah. Is that okay? Like, can I do it for 2 days or no?
If it's all you can eat, I can't see legally how they could get rid of you.
Yeah.
Winning.
You going to be watching?
I will be watching. But I just need you to know all the time I'm watching, I will be thinking, wonder how Triple C's getting on with that lobster.
Okay. I'll send some pics to Twitter or something if you want.
Nice. Awesome, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time. Bye for now.